Texas Longhorns are coming home as college baseball's national champions.
Welcome to the 2002 NCAA College World Series highlight video, a Longhorn Stampede. For the 53rd consecutive year, Omaha, Nebraska served as host to the Men's College World Series, the promised land of college baseball, the place where so many kids forge their dreams. Rosenblatt Stadium once again is the site of this incredible event that continues to see fantasies become reality. Now in its fourth year of the expanded format, the 2002 NCAA baseball tournament featured a 64-team field. Following the regional competition, 16 teams advanced to the Super Regional, where 8 teams survived intense competition and earned their way to Omaha, where they'll challenge for the College World Series in a double elimination format with a one-game championship. On the line, respect, admiration, and the NCAA title. The field for the 2002 College World Series represents 6 different states and 6 conferences. The state of South Carolina sent 2 teams to Omaha. The South Carolina Gamecocks from the SEC with the NCAA's best defense, and the Clemson Tigers from the ACC back in Omaha after a 1-year absence. Also representing the ACC was the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, who need 1 win to set a school record. The Big East Notre Dame Fighting Irish upset Florida State in the Super Regional to make it to Omaha. For the 2nd straight year, the Big 12's Nebraska Cornhuskers played in front of the hometown fans. Also representing the Big 12 was a 4-time champion Texas Longhorns and their #1 ranked pitching staff. Joining the Longhorns from the Lone Star State was the Western Athletic Conference's Rice Owls, who haven't allowed a run in 20 1/3 straight innings. And the only team from California in the Pac-10 was the Stanford Cardinal, the runner-up each of the last 2 years. All 8 teams came to Omaha with their confidence soaring, but in reality, only 1 team will leave with its goals fulfilled. On the eve of the College World Series, baseball greats Tommy Lasorda, Bob Gibson, and Ted Sizemore paid visit to Rosenblatt Stadium. The occasion, the 3rd annual NCAA Home Run Challenge presented by Rawlings, showcasing sluggers from Division I, II, and III. Heath Mason led all of Division II in home runs and RBIs at Carson Newman University. Junior Medina was a Division II All-American at Stonehill College in Northeastern Massachusetts. With 24 home runs, Ryan Kenning led his New Mexico State Lobos to its first ever NCAA tournament. Sean Rice knocked in 18 homers as the leadoff batter for Division III Ohio Wesleyan. Bubba Lavender represented Morehead State University with this shot. Brad Eldred powered Florida International University to the NCAA tournament with 29 home runs. Gonzaga's Nate Gold hit 33 home runs this season, best in the nation. Todd Meyer batted .511 for Division III Alvernia College while collecting 107 RBIs. The final round paired Gonzaga's Nate Gold against Ryan Kenning of New Mexico State. Nate Gold received a 2-point bonus by going yard with a Rawlings wooden bat. Ryan Kenning countered with this shot to right. And Kenning secured the home run title with this blast into the Rosenblatt bleachers. New Mexico State's Ryan Kenning received the trophy as the 2002 NCAA Home Run King. Way to go, Ryan.
The probe has landed. I repeat, the probe has landed. Approaching Sector 7. Get a track on that. I'm tracking it. Whoa.
The new Rawlings BB1050, used exclusively in Omaha at the Home Run Challenge. How far can you hit it?
Houston, we have a problem.
I'm Wes Reinders from Georgia Tech, and here's a message to the other 7 teams here in Omaha. Look out for the Rambling Wreck.
Though Georgia Tech is making just its second appearance in Omaha, success is not foreign to the school. The Rambling Wreck was runner-up in the 1994 College World Series. Head coach Danny Hall was at the helm in '94 when Nomar Garcia-Parra and company came one win away from the title. Freshman Jeremy Sladen leads the offense with 17 home runs and 63 RBI, while Omaha native Kyle Baker returns home with a 12-2 record.
I guess mostly our coaches just tell us to stay, relaxed, and it's the same game, whether we're here or whether it's a regular season game. So we just got to go out there and play our best baseball, I think just relax.
I'm Trey Dyson from South Carolina. After barely missing the last 2 years, the Gamecocks have finally made it to Omaha, the mecca of college baseball.
Even with those heartbreaking super regionals in 2000 and 2001, South Carolina rebounded and found the will to qualify for its 6th College World Series. Head coach Ray Tanner's in his 6th year in charge of the Gamecocks. SEC Player of the Year, Jerome Peters set school records with 28 home runs and 92 RBI. And stopper Blake Taylor leads the country with a school record 21 saves.
Well, we definitely want to win the first game. The first game is we need a positive jump start. If we can win the first game, I think we have a good momentum going into the middle of the tournament. And you got to start positively.
Georgia Tech's Victor Menachal jump-started the 2002 College World Series. The leadoff hitter Eric Patterson on third. Menachal lifts a long fly to right that Steve Thomas can't get to. The triple by Menachal scored Patterson, and the Yellow Jackets took an early 1-0 lead. .9" Kyle Baker, an Omaha native, took control of South Carolina from the very beginning, striking out 3 Gamecocks in the first 2 innings. Georgia Tech took a 3-0 lead into the 5th, and with a runner on second, Matt Merton added to the Yellow Jackets' lead.
And here's the pitch to Merton. Swung on line hard to right field in the alley. It's going to hit and roll. 1 run is going to score. Sladen is going to go to second, and Matt Merton has a double, and Tech has a 4-0 lead.
Then with the bases loaded, Wes Reinders was urged to come through. Reinders obliged with a double, scoring Jeremy Sladen and Matt Merton, and the rout was on by the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. The Yellow Jackets' Baker was sensational, and the defense behind him was every bit as good. Shortstop Victor Menachal robbed Steve Thomas of a base hit. In the bottom of the 9th, Baker, who allowed just 6 hits, came out of the game to the cheers of his hometown fans. The 11-0 rout put Georgia Tech in the winner's bracket.
It's better than I could have ever imagined. It's really just starting to sink in that we just played. The whole trip is just like, I can't believe we're actually playing from the College World Series.
I'm Will Bolt from the University of Nebraska. This year we're going to do everything we can to give our hometown fans a thrill.
For the 2nd straight year, the Cornhuskers earned the right to play in front of the Nebraska faithful at the College World Series. And the fans would love to see their Huskers improve on the 0-2 record in 2001. Head coach Dave Van Horn is in his 5th season at Nebraska and has his team focused. The Big 12 Player of the Year, Jed Morris, leads the team with 21 home runs and 84 RBI. And Shane Comine is a perfect 10-0 with a 1.87 ERA.
This is a wonderful place, a wonderful event, and you can't not notice it. It's a wonderful thing, and
the thing is, we just got to put that aside, but, you know, enjoy it when it's all over.
Hi, I'm BJ Lamore from Clemson University, and Coach Leggett has us back here ready to compete for a national title.
The Tigers arrive in Omaha for the 10th time, poised to win its first College World Series. Jack Leggett is making his 4th appearance as the head coach of Clemson. Senior shortstop Khalil Green earned Player of the Year honors with 26 home runs and 86 RBI. And the Tigers' rotation is anchored by senior Steve Reba and junior Matt Henry.
Oh, we're very excited about being here. You know, there's a lot of teams would love to be in our position, and it's a tremendous challenge for us and a tremendous place to cap your season off, and something we've been shooting for all season long.
Nebraska took a 1-0 lead into the 2nd inning, and the Huskers' Daniel Bruce made it 2-0 with a double to left that scored Brandon Iman. Leading 3-0 in the top of the 3rd, Iman faced Clemson reliever Thomas Boozer.
The 3-2, lined into right field, base hit, waved around third is Anderson. He'll come in to score, and it's 4-0 Nebraska.
Clemson looked to cut into the 4-0 lead in the bottom of the 3rd. With 2 men on and no outs, Khalil Green showed why he is the Player of the Year. Green doubled to left center, scoring David Slevin and Zane Green, cutting the Nebraska lead in half. In the 4th, the Cornhuskers looked on as catcher Jed Morris stepped into the box against Patrick Hogan.
This pitch is hit high in the air to right center field. Good! Bye! Baseball!
Trailing 7-3 in the bottom of the 6th, Zane Green and the Clemson Tigers had to make a move against the surging Cornhuskers.
High fly ball into right field. Going back on it is Anderson at the wall. Gone! Zane Green has done it again. A 3-run shot, and it's a 1-run game.
After tying the game in the 7th, the Tigers continued their surge. With runners on the corners and 2 outs, Khalil Green hit an 0-1 pitch into the left field stands, and the Clemson Tigers went ahead 10-8, their first lead of the game. But Nebraska would not quit. With 2 on, Will Bolt came up with a huge hit for the Cornhuskers.
Swings and he lines into the gap in center field. Chasing is the center fielder. The Frank can't come up with it. Extra bases. 1-run scored. Seeley rounds third. He'll score. Bolt digs for 3. He's safe in there. Tie ball game.
In the bottom of the 9th, Clemson's Jeff Baker came to the plate with runners at 1st and 2nd and 1 out, facing Jeff Blazing, Nebraska's 7th pitcher of the night.
And the pitch. In the gap! Tigers win! Baker slips one into the left field gap, and the Tigers win it in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Hey, I'm Andrew Bushy from the University of Notre Dame. We're the first Northern-based team at the College World Series since 1986, but we're on fire, so everybody better look out.
Notre Dame has indeed been on fire. After starting the 2002 season 9-10, the Fighting Irish won 40 of their next 46 games, including 2 stunning wins against #1 seed Florida State in the Super Regional. Paul Maneri coached Notre Dame to its first College World Series since 1957. Senior Steve Stanley leads the attack with 380 career hits, 3rd all-time in NCAA history. And freshman Grant Johnson highlights the pitching staff with a 9-4 record.
I think we even surprised ourselves a little bit. You know, coming in, we've got a lot of confidence, and we want to show people around the nation that Notre Dame can play baseball.
I'm Ryan Garko from Stanford University. After coming so close to the national championship the last 2 years, the Cardinal have returned to Omaha to take care of some unfinished business.
Making its 14th appearance in Omaha, Stanford would like nothing more than to take home its 3rd NCAA championship. Mark Marquez has had tremendous success in his 26 seasons at the helm of the Cardinal, and the 2002 Stanford team is loaded with experience. 6 seniors are playing in their 4th straight College World Series. And junior Jeremy Guthrie is the first Cardinal pitcher to win 12 or more games in consecutive seasons.
You know, we played with some great players as freshman and sophomore, and I've kind of had some great players backing us freshman and sophomore year, so it's been a real team effort every year, but, you know, it's been an honor for us as seniors.
Stanford's Jason Cooper got things started in the bottom of the 1st. With runners on 2nd and 3rd, Cooper singled to center, and the Cardinals took a 2-0 lead. Meanwhile, Stanford ace Jeremy Guthrie dominated the Notre Dame hitters, striking out 2 straight in the 2nd inning. In the bottom of the 4th, Stanford's Chris Carter added to the lead.
Pitch is on the way. It swung on and drilled toward right center field. And diving try by the center fielder Stanley. It gets by and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Van Zandt scores easily. Carter's going to try for 3rd, and he will make it standing. It's a triple for Chris Carter.
The offense wasn't the only thing going for Stanford. In the 5th, Chris O'Riordan made a great play at 2nd to hold the Notre Dame attack. Then Sam Fuld came to the plate in the 6th against Grant Johnson with a 2-1 count.
Gets a pitch. It is back. Bill Hart going back. Hello, goodbye.
With runners on the corners, Notre Dame mounted a comeback in the top of the 7th.
Guthrie from the stretch, fastball, driven to left field. That one going back. Jason Cooper watches it sail up and out of the ballpark. A 3-run home run. Javi Sanchez, and the Irish are down by just a run.
With 2 outs in the top of the 9th, Notre Dame's Steve Solomon had one last chance to be a hero. But Jeremy Guthrie was focused on getting the complete game. The Stanford hit got Solomon to ground to short, giving Stanford a hard-fought 4-3 win in Game 3.
I'm Klein Napoleon of Texas, and our mission is simple: to win the national championship for the 5th time.
The heralded Longhorns returned to Omaha for the 29th time. More trips than 6 of the 2002 College World Series teams combined. Augie Garrido's in his 6th season at the helm and last appeared in the College World Series in 2000. Senior Jeff Ontiveros is the school's career leader with 53 home runs, while sophomore Justin Simmons and the pitching staff have a 2.73 ERA, best in the NCAA.
Quite a few of us on this team that have experience of being here, and this is unfinished business for us, and it's strictly business when we come out to play, and we don't want to go 2 and out. We want to try to win a couple games for the Big 12.
I'm Justin Ruckty with the Rice Owls. This is our 3rd trip to the World Series. This time we're bringing the title home to Houston.
Rice certainly made some noise on its way to the College World Series, going 28-2 in the Western Athletic Conference. Head coach Wayne Graham has the Owls in Omaha for the 3rd time, and his first since his spinning performance in 1999. WAC Player of the Year Vincent Sinisi leads the attack with a .432 average and 80 RBI. And the rotation includes 3 pitchers with 10 wins or more, highlighted by Justin Crowder's 1.88 ERA.
It's definitely something you dream about as a kid, and once you get here, your eyes just light up, and it's hard to believe you're really here, but we're glad to be here, and we're going to play our best.
The game was scoreless going into the top of the 3rd, but Texas had runners on the corners when cleanup hitter Jeff Ontiveros came to the plate with 2 outs. The Longhorn slugger nearly took Stephen Hirsch's head off, singling up the middle to score Omar Quintanilla, and Texas took a 1-0 lead. The lead remained due in part to some great Texas defense.
A hit in the air down the left field line, hit pretty well. Majewski going back to the wall. He leaps, makes the catch. What a great catch by Justin Majewski, right up against the wall for .335.
Then in the 8th, Majewski contributed some clutch offense.
3-1 the count. Pitch by Majeski swings, line drive, deep into the left field corner. This thing is going to bounce into the corner. Moss will round third. He's being waved home. Throw coming into the shortstop. They'll not relay in time. An RBI double into the left field corner for Dustin Majeski.
Finally, in the bottom of the 8th, Eric Arnold put Rice on the board. The solo shot by the Owls second baseman cut the Texas lead to 2-1. Later in the 8th came the play of the game. With 2 outs and runners at first and second, Texas coach Augie Garrido encouraged reliever Houston Street to shut down the Rice rally.
Strikes, 2 outs, the pitch, swung on ground ball, knocked down by Quintanilla, rounding third, coming in, Quintanilla throws, he tags, he is out of there! Ryan Hubel tags out the runner coming in, and the Longhorns get out of the inning with the lead.
Rice had one last opportunity in the bottom of the 9th, but Houston Street got Chris Polkhorst to ground to second and pick up the save for Texas, advancing the Longhorns to the winner's bracket. There's nothing like the food at the College World Series. Along with all the delicacies inside Rosenblatt Stadium, the cuisine in a parking lot is second to none.
Welcome to Omaha, the College World Series. This is the way to get it done. We're having a little fun in the parking lot. This is our grill. We feed a couple hundred people a day. We've been doing this for about 5 years. And every year it seems to get a little bit bigger and my garage gets a little smaller. But we probably could feed a couple hundred a day over here. This is our first experimental run with our hindquarters. We're having a little fun with it, as you can see. This is the kind of stuff that you'll find here only in Omaha at the College World Series.
Nothing like a good pregame meal to get Game 5 going as South Carolina and Nebraska looked to avoid elimination. Ahead 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd, and Jeff Lisi on first. Daniel Bruce gave Nebraska the start they desperately needed. The 2-run homer to left put the Huskers up 3-0. Two batters later, Jeff Blevins added to the lead.
Blevins hits it well to right center field. Good bye baseball. It's 4-0 Nebraska.
But in the top of the 4th, South Carolina came roaring back. Following a Garris Gauntz RBI single, Trey Dyson did the same, scoring Brian Busher, cutting the Nebraska lead to 4-2. South Carolina was able to keep the game close with some great defense. Right fielder Steve Thomas robbed Nebraska of a base hit. South Carolina took an 8-7 lead in the bottom of the 8th when Nebraska's Jed Morris came to the plate.
Here's the 1-1. Morris gives it a ride, deep right field. Going back, Thomas to the wall. He turns and watches it lead.
Then the big play with Drew Meyer on second and 2 outs. Jerome Peters looked for a ball to drive against Nebraska's Jeremy Becker.
The pitch, Peters swings and drives it to the gap in right center field. It is gone! Peters does it! A 2-run blast to right field, his 29th of the year, and Carolina has taken the lead, 10-8.
South Carolina went on to win the game and survive elimination. But for the second straight year, the hometown favorites went 0-2 at the College World Series. Game 6 matched 2 teams from the winner's bracket as ACC rivals Clemson and Georgia Tech look to start 2-0. After a scoreless first inning, Clemson's Kyle Frank put the Tigers on top. His single to left scored Michael Johnson, and the floodgates were open for Clemson. With the bases loaded and one out, David Slevin faced Chris Gooden.
There's a ball hit up the middle into center field. He does it again. That's going to score 2, and the Tigers take a 3-0 lead.
Still in the second, Clemson was getting hit after hit. And before it was said and done, the Tigers put 8 runs across the plate on 7 hits in the inning. Jason Perry and Georgia Tech clawed back in the bottom of the second.
Perry swinging, lifts it toward left. Going back is Valiente, and it's in the seats.
Trailing 8-3 with runners on first and second in the bottom of the third. Wes Reinders and the Yellow Jackets got a gift.
Reinders chops on it to third. Baker will scoop, he'll throw to first. Ball in the dirt, gets by Johnson. A run will score. Reinders is on the move to second. Here comes Jason Perry, and he is safe. It's 8-5.
Wow.
After watching their lead slip from 8-0 to 8-6, Clemson's Michael Johnson stopped the bleeding. His solo shot in the top of the 7th upped the lead to 9-6. Leading 9-7 in the bottom of the 9th, Player of the Year Khalil Green rose to the occasion defensively.
Thanks, Dad. Oh, Khalil went up and got it. Khalil went up and speared a certain gapper.
Clemson went on to win their 2nd straight game and remain in the winner's bracket, while Georgia Tech suffered its first defeat. After a 45-year absence, Notre Dame returned to Omaha. Back in 1957, the Fighting Irish played in its first College World Series and was led by Jim Morris, who came back to Rosenblatt Stadium to cheer on his alma mater. The Notre Dame outfielder went 10 for 14 in 4 games, and to this day, his .714 batting average remains a College World Series record.
It wasn't this big a deal in '57. And it was a way to extend the season. We really enjoyed getting to play some extra games, but we didn't know it was big time. We never heard of the Final Four and all that thing. But we did finish 3rd and had a great series.
It's special to see how time and time again the College World Series provides a lifetime of memories. Game 7 was another loser's bracket game. Rice and Notre Dame looked to do anything necessary to avoid joining Nebraska on summer break. The game was scoreless through 2.5 innings when Notre Dame's Andrew Bushy got some help from the gusting wind. His pop-up played havoc with the Rice defense, allowing Brian Stavisky to score the game's first run. Rice trailed 2-0 in the top of the 4th as Austin Davis came to the plate.
Pitch is swung on by Davis, lofted, back to the fence, back, the leap, and it is a hello, goodbye shot for Austin Davis.
With Chris Colkhorst on second for the Owls in the 6th, Davis came through again. His single to left scored Colkhorst and tied the game at 2. Pinch hitter Enrique Cruz did everything he could to give the Owls the lead, but Notre Dame's Steve Stanley made a sensational running catch to end the 6th and strand 2 Rice runners to the delight of Steve's wife. Rice finally took the lead when pinch hitter Mike Lorsback came through in the 7th.
That ball's hit well in the center field, but going back to the track, and the ball is gone! I didn't think the wind would take it, but that ball's out of here, and the Rice Owls have a 3-2 lead.
It was their first pinch hit home run at the College World Series since 1993. The game went to the bottom of the 9th with Notre Dame trailing by 1 With one out, Steve Stanley hit one in the alley and motored all the way to third, providing a huge emotional lift for the out. One batter later, Steve Salmon was in position to tie the game.
Lines it up the middle, and the game is tied. Here comes Steve Stanley. Solomon brings him home. We're tied at 3 in a brand new ball game.
The Rice bench knew the momentum had shifted to Notre Dame. Pitcher Justin Crowder had been magnificent in relief. Brian Stavitsky had a job to do.
And here's a big swung on. There it goes. It might be out of here. It could be. It is gone. And Notre Dame has knocked off the Rice Owls with a 2-run home run by Brian Stavitsky in the bottom of the 9th inning. Notre Dame over Rice by his final score of 5-3 here at Rosenblatt Stadium.
I've had a couple game-winning home runs before, or big game-winning hits, but nothing like hitting a home run to win the game at the College World Series.
Stanford and Texas met in Game 8 in a matchup of two teams from the winner's bracket. The game started with some great defense by Texas center fielder Kalani Napoleon. First, he went deep to take away extra bases from Sam Fuld. Then he robbed Ryan Garko of a base hit with a spectacular diving catch. Tim Cunningham knew keeping the Texas bats quiet would be quite a chore.
Pulls back the bat and slaps a single throw on the left side. Rounding third is Boss. He's being waved home. Here comes the throw from Cooper to left fielder. It's cut off. RBI single for J.D. Reininger. His first hit in the College World Series. And Texas grabs a 1-0 lead.
Leading 2-0, Jeff Ontiveros came to the plate in the bottom of the third. With a count full, the Texas first baseman sent one deep, giving the Longhorns an early 3-0 lead. With Chris Carter on second, Stanford got on the board in the top of the fourth.
The 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and drilled up the middle past the diving Fahey. And as the center fielder struggles, trying for home is Chris Carter. The throw comes in too late, and Chris Carter is safe at home.
After the first two batters were retired, Texas responded in the bottom of the fourth. Omar Quintanilla singled up the middle, scoring Kalani Napoleon. And when the throw to third got away from Scott Dragisevich, Tim Moss came home, giving Texas a 5-2 lead. One batter later, and with momentum on its side, Texas added to the lead.
This ball hit hard into right field. Going back is Quinton, looking out, and this ball's off the wall. Quinton comes in, coming in to score is Omar Quintanilla, and they're going to call it a home run. I thought it left the ballpark.
After fighting back to make it 8-6, Stanford threatened in the top of the ninth with 2 outs and 1 on. Sam Fuld came through in the clutch, singling up the middle to score Johnny Ash. And all of a sudden, the Texas lead was trimmed to 8-7. It was now in the hands of Stanford slugger Ryan Garko with pinch runner Brian Hall on first. The Texas faithful and focused father looked on as Texas pitcher Houston Street had Garko in an 0-2 hole. Garko couldn't check the swing, and Texas stopped the Cardinal rally. The Longhorns get a huge advantage by starting 2-0. Meanwhile, Stanford gets sent to the losers bracket. Game 9 matched two teams with a 1-1 record as South Carolina battled Georgia Tech in a southeastern border war. The score was 1-1 going into the fourth as South Carolina put runners on second and third. The Gamecocks' Landon Powell sent the first pitch from Brian Burks to right field, scoring both runners and giving South Carolina a 3-1 lead. Two batters later, Drew Meyer added to the lead.
Hit toward the hole and into left field, a base hit. Malillo rounds third. Down the stretch he comes. Here comes the throw. Cut off. Gamecocks add another run. It's 4-1. Meyer with an RBI single to left.
After the lead extended to 5-1, Georgia Tech threatened in the bottom of the fourth. With runners on the corners, Matthew Boggs stepped in to face Aaron Rawls.
Swung on, hit into center field. Center fielder come in, can't make the play, base hit Boggs, and it's a 5-2 game.
South Carolina got that run back in the top of the seventh when Steve Thomas hit an 0-1 pitch from Jeff Watchko into the left field bleachers. And on this day, South Carolina was not to be stopped. Pitcher Aaron Rawls saved the South Carolina bullpen by throwing a complete game. He struck out Jeremy Sladen to end the game, giving his mom a huge thrill. South Carolina came through in a must-win game number 9. Meanwhile, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets' quest for the 2002 College World Series came to an end. What could be better than to be a kid enjoying all the action at the College World Series? They get to eat great food, see outstanding baseball, scream to their heart's content, and even catch a little shutout. Well, for a few youngsters, the thrill goes a step further. The Bat Boys get to wear a uniform, run onto the field, and be part of the team. But don't take the job lightly. It's not as easy as it looks.
The toughest job is to when to go, because it's confusing when to go, because when you go get the bats, the play has to be over to go get the bats.
Coming off its thrilling win over Rice, Notre Dame again looked to stave off elimination in its Game 10 matchup against 2-0 Stanford. Stanford leadoff man Chris Carter singled in the top of the first to set the scene for Sam Full. The Cardinals center fielder hit a 1-0 pitch into left center field bleachers, and Stanford took an early 2-0 lead. After Notre Dame made it 2-1, Carlos Quentin connected in the top of the second.
Here's the pitch. Curveball hit in the air to deep left field. Stavisky going back, looking up at this one, and it's gone. Carlos Quentin with a massive home run to left field. The second home run hit by the Cardinal off Peter Ogilvy. A solo shot for Quentin, his 12th of the year, and it's 3-1 Cardinal.
Notre Dame loaded the bases in the fifth with no one out. After a pop out by Joe Thaman, Steve Stanley hit a sacrifice fly to narrow the Stanford lead to 3-2. Failing to score more than one run when they had a golden opportunity would cost the Irish greatly. After Stanford made it 4-2, Notre Dame's Paul O'Toole stepped in against John Hudgens.
2-0 fastball lined into right field. Stavisky able to make sure it went through. Palmineri now waving him home. Bobbled that in right field. The throw coming into second. Brian Stavisky will score, and it's a one-run ball game.
With Scott Dragicevic on third in the top of the ninth, Stanford coach Mark Marquez desperately wanted to get an insurance run. He put on the squeeze play for Andy Topham. Notre Dame pitched out. The lunging Topham made contact, but the ball barely went foul. Would Marquez try the squeeze again?
3-1 now to Topham. There goes Dragicevic. They try to lay it down again. That one will work. Dragicevic scores. Topham is thrown out at first. Mark Marquez gets it done with Andy Topham, the suicide squeeze, and the Stanford Cardinal lead it 5-3.
Notre Dame was in a familiar position, forced to come from behind. With Palmineri's wife unable to watch, Stanford reliever Dan Rich was 1 out away from a Cardinal win. Rich struck out Joe Thaman to end the game, and the Stanford Cardinals staved off elimination and set up a rematch with 2-0 Texas. Meanwhile, Notre Dame saw its remarkable run in 2002 come to an end. Bragging rights for the state of South Carolina were up for grabs as 2-0 Clemson looked to eliminate 2-1 South Carolina. Game 11 saw strong winds blowing Old Glory straight out, and the batters knew anything in the air could get out. On the first pitch of the game, Clemson's Zane Green did just that. He hit it up in a jet stream, and before the fans could settle in, the Tigers had a 1-0 lead. In the top of the third with Khalil Green on first, Clemson played the wind again.
Stretching the pitch.
High and deep into right center field. Back and gone. Michael Johnson nails one to the left of the 375 marker and right center field, and the Tigers lead it 3-0.
South Carolina got on the board in the bottom of the third with Garris Gauntz on third. Drew Meyer hit a 1-1 pitch to left. The double scored Gauntz, and the lead was cut to 3-1. Trailing 4-2 in the bottom of the fourth, Trey Dyson got a hold of it.
Hit high and deep to left. Valiente backing up. It's in that jet stream, and it is gone. A two-run blast to left by Dyson, his 17th home run of the year. And just like that, we are tied.
Steve Thomas gave South Carolina the lead in the bottom of the sixth.
Wind still going strong to left. 2-1 pitch. Hit high and deep to left field. Kiss it goodbye. Near the scoreboard, Thomas with a blast. And the Gamecocks take the lead, his 13th home run of the year. The Tampa Assassin strikes again.
Still in the sixth, Trey Dyson did it again. The Gamecocks DH hit his second home run of the game and broke the game open at 7-4. South Carolina made it a rout, scoring 5 runs in the sixth inning and 3 more in the eighth. Landon Powell's solo shot put an exclamation point on Game 11. With the win, South Carolina handed Clemson its first loss and made the, if necessary, Game 13 necessary. In Game 12, 2-1 Stanford looked to prevent elimination and avenge a Game 8 loss to 2-0 Texas. Stanford demanded that Texas take notice in the bottom of the first. DH Chris Carter led off for the Cardinal and hit a 3-2 pitch from Ray Clark into the left center field bleachers, giving Stanford an early 1-0 lead. After Chris O'Riordan's RBI single made it 2-0 Stanford, Scott Dragicevic continued the momentum.
Pitch ground ball up the middle. Shortstop dives, can't get it, goes to center field for a base hit. Here comes Garco around third. He will score, and Stanford leads 3-0.
In the top of the second, Texas loaded the bases as center fielder Kalani Napoleon tried to come up with a big 2-out hit.
2-1 pitch. Napoleon swings his little looper. It is going to drop for a base hit. 1 run scores. Fahey around third. He will score. Head first slide in the third for J.D. Reiniger. RBI single to right for Kalani Napoleon, and the Longhorns fight back. It's now 3-2.
Texas tied the game in the top of the fifth when Dustin Majewski hit this pitch from Jeremy Guthrie, scoring Omar Quintanilla. One batter later, Jeff Ontiveros gave Texas the lead.
This ball hammered down the left field line. Will it get up? It's out of here. 2-run homer for Jeff Ontiveros. 5-3 Texas.
The home run by Ontiveros gave him 20 on the season, breaking the Texas single-season record. Stanford immediately got a run back in the bottom of the fifth before Chris O'Riordan came to the plate.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Clark winds and fires. The pitch is drilled over first base and down the line. Cooper rounds third. He's going to try for home as O'Riordan has an RBI single, and the Cardinals tied up the ball game.
Stanford's Jeremy Guthrie gutted it out into the seventh, but the Longhorns' Dustin Majewski won the battle.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. Majewski swings. High fly ball to deep right field. You can say goodnight to this one. Home run, Majewski. Longhorns reclaim the lead, 6-5.
In the bottom of the 7th, Stanford looked for a 2-out rally, but Texas reliever Jessen Merle got the best of Scott Dragicevic and preserved the 6-5 lead. Mark Marquez saw his team down 1 in the bottom of the 9th. The Texas Longhorns were 2 outs away from reaching the championship game as Jason Cooper stepped into the box. Sam Full needed a gapper to score from first, but reliever Houston Street had other ideas.
And the 2-1 pitch hit on the ground on Averis. He'll go to second for 1. Relay to first. Longhorns win it. Texas is going to play for the national championship.
The Longhorns will await the winner of South Carolina and Clemson, while Stanford experiences another crushing defeat in Omaha. Game 13 between South Carolina and Clemson was about more than bragging rights in the state. It was about earning the right to play for the national championship.
Dig down deep in our pride now. We worked way too hard. Worked way too hard. Let this thing slip away. Everybody working hard. You guys give it the best effort, best ball game of the year right here. Best ball game. Let's go. Win. 1, 2, 3. Win. Let's go.
You go out, play your hardest, play smart, and have the most fun you've ever had playing a college baseball game. Let's make Gamecock fans proud all over the country today. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
South Carolina loaded the bases in the top of the 2nd inning of Game 13 as Landon Powell came to the plate with 1 out. The Gamecocks catcher singled through the right side, scoring Steve Thomas and Garris Gauntz. And they added to the lead 1 batter later.
The pitch. Hit toward right. Will it drop? It will. Base hit. Powell to second. Coming home is Busher. It's 3-0 Gamecocks.
After falling behind 5-0, Clemson threatened in the bottom of the 3rd. With runners on 1st and 2nd, the Tigers' Jeff Baker came through with a big 2-out single to center, scoring David Slevin. A walk to Michael Johnson loaded the bases for Clemson, and head coach Jack Leggett knew the Tigers needed to capitalize. Roberto Valiente stepped in for possibly the biggest at-bat of Game 13, but South Carolina's Stephen Bondurant was determined to work out of a jam. Bondurant got Valiente swinging and shut the door on the Tigers. Clemson saw its once bright hopes of playing for a national championship slip away. South Carolina poured it on in the 8th inning as Kevin Melillo singled home 2 more runs. With a 10-2 win, the South Carolina Gamecocks won 2 straight from rival Clemson and earned a right to play in the national championship game. While offense gets notoriety at the College World Series, defense at the 2002 series was spectacular. Here's a tape.
The new Rawlings BB1050, used exclusively in Omaha at the Home Run Challenge. How far can you hit it?
Houston, we have a problem.
8 teams entered the College World Series with the dream of taking home the trophy, but only South Carolina and Texas survived the road to the championship game. In a rematch of the 1975 championship, Texas looks to douse South Carolina's hopes again. The Longhorns were playing for their 5th College World Series championship. South Carolina, on the other hand, has never won the title. The Gamecocks hope to become just the 2nd team since 1981 to lose its first CWS game and come back to win the national championship. And as game time approached, both head coaches had the task of getting their teams ready for the biggest games of their lives.
Have some fun out here. Let's go.
Being able to play in the last game of the college season is wonderful. You're playing for the national championship. This will be with these guys forever, and certainly the team that wins, it's going to be a little more special. But it's great for both teams to be in this environment today.
In my mind, when you win the game, it offers you an opportunity to take from it a lot of confidence and self-esteem, and enriches the self-esteem you already have, and it cements the relationship between the players, and that's a great gift.
Texas ace Justin Simmons took the mound and quickly found himself in trouble. The first three South Carolina batters reached safely, and after Steve Thomas popped out, Trey Dyson hit an 0-1 pitch to right field. This was deep enough to score Drew Meyer, and the Gamecocks jumped to a 1-0 lead. Both runners advanced to scoring position, but limiting South Carolina just one run would be a huge boost to the Longhorns' confidence. Simmons got Garris Gauntz looking, and a potentially huge inning was averted.
Strikeout was definitely huge. I mean, I think their game plan on me was looking for the ball away, because that's what the first couple of hitters had done. And so I got ahead of that last hitter and threw a good fastball in the inside corner and froze him up. He definitely wasn't looking for that pitch, and that was definitely a big moment in the game to get out of that inning with only one run.
Texas came right back in the bottom of the first as Dustin Majewski came to the plate.
Raw works from the stretch. The pitch, Majewski swings and a high fly ball. This one heading out to left, deep enough to score the run. Still carrying, back to the wall, and it gets away from the left fielder, Gauntz. Coming in to score is Moss. Rounding third, Quintanilla. He will score. Majewski slides at third. He is safe, and the Longhorns grab a 2-1 lead.
I'm just standing there thinking that, first of all, I thought, man, if I had a few more feet, you know, it'd be even bigger. It'd been a lot less stressful on my body. But, you know, I was glad to get the opportunity with running scoring position to drive me in. I kind of struggled up here in this tournament. I felt like I didn't swing the bat very well at the beginning. And just when I got my opportunity, I was glad I had a chance to do it today.
The Texas lead was 3-2 in the bottom of the second, as Omar Quintanilla had a runner on second, facing a 1-2 count. Quintanilla hit his second double in as many innings, scoring J.D. Reininger, and the Texas Longhorns up their lead to 4-2. The score remained 4-2 into the fifth inning, as Chris Carmichael looked to justify Augie Garrido's decision to insert him into the lineup.
What has happened most often is the unexpected contributes to winning the national championship. Everyone tries to put their finger on it. Everyone tries to identify it before it happens, and it very seldom works out the way that we predict. But in every College World Series, the only thing you really can finally expect is the unexpected.
With runners on first and second and one out, Carmichael made Garrido look like a genius. He hit a 1-2 pitch deep to right.
Breaking ball. This ball hit pretty well down the right field line. It's got a chance. It's out of here. 3-run homer. Chris Carmichael, 7-2 Longhorns.
After I hit that home run, I couldn't do anything but show the emotion. I couldn't hold anything in. You know, usually you would try to hold it in as a ball player, but to get the start nod in the championship game, it shows that my coaches and my teammates had a lot of faith in me, and that I'm just blessed, and I'm just happy to be here.
South Carolina trailed 8-2 in the top of the seventh, but refused to give up. Senior Yaron Peters is not about to end his collegiate career without a fight. His double to right center scored Kevin Melillo and breathed new life into the Gamecocks. Then Steve Thomas was next.
Kicks and fires the pitch. Hit up the middle, base hit. Peters rounding third. Peters will score. 8-4, Texas leads.
With the threat still looming in the top of the seventh, Garrido decided Simmons had had enough. The Texas ace gave the Longhorns 6 2/3 of stellar stuff.
I have all the confidence in the world in Bomer. He's done an outstanding job all year. He was a right-handed hitter. Came in, struck him out, and that might have been the biggest out of the game because they had a good rally going. They had already scored 2 runs. I think they had runners on second, third, and to get that out, that was huge. That was definitely a huge turning point in the game for us.
Bomer comes set. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 call.
Texas closer Houston Street came on in the 8th looking to stop another Gamecocks rally.
Street will work from the windup and the pitch. Swung on, ground ball to third. Quintanilla throws to second for 1. Relay comes out of his hand. Ball got away from it. Runner coming down to score. 2 runs have come in to score, and it's now 8-6.
But Street got out of the inning by striking out Yaron Peters and protected the Longhorns' 2-run lead. In the bottom of the 8th, Texas broke it open. With the bases loaded, shortstop Brandon Fahey got the biggest hit of his life. His single to right scored Dustin Majewski and Jeff Ontiveros, and the Longhorns took a commanding 10-6 lead. Trailing 12-6 in the top of the 9th, South Carolina tried desperately to rally.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Dyson swings, went off. A Street's glove, but Moss will step on second for 1. Throw to first, in time, double play. And the Longhorns are an out away from the national championship. Street will pitch. Greenwood hits it on the ground. It's fielded by Ontiveros. He'll step on the bag. Like the Tower Orange, the Texas Longhorns are coming home as college baseball's national champions.
When Jeff held his glove up and told me I got it straight, and I knew it was done, I knew it was over, I just turned around and looked to find my teammates, and I'll never forget that picture, ever. That picture in my head when I turned around and saw everybody running out of the dugout, holding up their horns and, looking to hug each other and find the dog pile and just, be with our team. That's just what I wanted to do, was be with my team immediately. And it was just, when it was all said and done, it was the greatest feeling I've ever felt.
Oh, it's probably, one of the biggest moments of my life. I felt so good. I feel so happy right now. I don't know. Ever since I was small, this is what I dreamed of, playing in the College World Series, and we won it, and I'm so happy right now. Something I will never forget.
Houston Street became the first pitcher in the history of the College World Series to record 4 saves. He's the most outstanding player.
There are a lot of MVPs on our team. Chris today getting that hit, broke the game open, gave us the momentum. Omar Quintanilla in the Rice game making that unbelievable play. Justin Simmons with his 2 great pitching performances. There were 4 games that had to be won, and there were 27 outs in all 4 of those games, and I just had to come in and get the last 5 or 6. So, just because the stat says I got 4 saves, and that's a big deal. I think that our whole team, every single person, had an MVP moment throughout the College World Series, and that's why we're champions.
It means that they are the best at what they are doing at this moment in time. They have found a way to be the best, and the most valuable thing they can take with it is never lose the self-esteem that goes along with that, and keep that confidence throughout life.
The Texas Longhorns become just the 3rd team in the history of the College World Series to win 5 national championships.